from a caregiver's perspective. And to help us, Mr. Emmanuel Ehun Ado, he is the founder Naomi Mikafui Breast Cancer Foundation, and he's also the CEO of NEM Engineering Company Limited. Big man. He's in the studios today with us. He's going to tell us what the Naomi Mikafui Foundation is all about and many, many more. Good morning, Mr. Ehun Ado. Welcome to ZFM.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
It's an honor to have you in the studios. We're blessed that you found time to pass by.
Okay.
So let me start first from not NEM, but let's start from the Mikafui Foundation. What is the Mikafui Foundation, and what inspired it? Where did the story start?
Okay, so Mikafui happened to be my wife.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
We got married 2022, but because of cancer, she passed on.
Oh, sorry.
And then before her demise, we were having a discussion that, oh, babe, when I get well, I would like to add my voice to the already existing voices in the world to get a foundation to also create awareness and help the needy get funds to support people living with breast cancer. So after her demise, I discussed with my family that this is what myself and my late wife, we had in mind. And we had a lengthy discussion about it, and they were like, okay, fine. If it's on your heart, because your wife just passed and you are bringing on this thing, it's going to be a toll on you. So why don't you just relax, wait for a while? But it kept on hitting me. So just along the line, I just went back to them again. I told them, hey, I want to do this in honor of my late wife, because that's what we discussed earlier. So I still want to do it. And they helped me, and to the glory of God, it has come into existence.
The Naomi Mikafui Foundation.
Yes. So my wife was Naomi Mikafui Ehun Ado.
Oh, okay.
Mrs. Yes, please.
Oh, wow. So how did the family take it? To put what it means is that the name is forever going to be there and all that, and in terms of remembrance and all that, how did they take this?
Initially, they didn't want to accept it.
I can imagine.
Yes, because of especially me, myself, how it's going to have a negative effect on me.
Okay.
But I kept on insisting that, hey, maybe this will be part of the healing process, and it will rather keep me strong and become more stronger to help others also go through successfully and be safe. So it wasn't easy convincing my family. It wasn't easy, but they looked at how resilient I was, and they looked at how humble my wife also was, and they were like, fine, if this is what you really want to do, then go ahead and do it, but make sure we are there for you. Always know that no matter what the situation, because we know it is going to keep you remember her each and every time. Of course, it is. And I appreciate it like that, because it helped me ease some of the pressures and some of the memories that comes, because I'm like, the pain I went through as a caregiver to my late wife should rather inspire someone to be able to take very good care of the sick, not necessarily being breast cancer or cancer specifically, but any other disease at all, that should inspire someone to also take it up and make sure that they take care of the sick.
For me, that's a touching story to start the morning with, because I can imagine, because I've seen the website.
Okay.
Beautiful website.
Thank you very much.
And she's there big.
Yes.
She's always going to be in your face. Wow. Yes, so it's NaomiMikafuiBCF.com. You go there and go check. So when did you learn of this diagnosis, and how was your initial reaction?
Okay, so everything happened when we got married, 2022, 30th of April.
Okay.
So she was then in school, PWCE.
Okay.
Ebri, Presbyterian Women's College of Education, Ebri.
Okay.
In her final year. So 6 months into our marriage, somewhere September, November, thereabout, she kept on complaining of having a severe pain in her left in her left breast. And we thought it was one of those pains that would just go off. 3 weeks later, she called me. I went back. I went to campus. I went to check it myself, and I realized the lump was there. So quickly, we had to seek for an exit from the school, which we were given. Then we went to a facility around Carnation. I don't, for the sake of
you wouldn't mention the names. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
And we were told by the doctor that this is just a lump.
Oh wow.
Yes, this is just a lump. It will melt.
A correct doctor, a medical doctor.
Yes.
It's someone who is gone to school and qualified.
It will melt. So they gave us some pain reliefs, and then that was it. A week later, she kept on complaining. Then we tried another facility at Amasaman. They said the same thing.
Wow.
So these two statements from different hospitals, facilities, made us relaxed. Because we're like, these are medical doctors saying it's going to melt. So we felt relaxed. She went back to school. She was then writing a final papers. She kept on complaining that, babe, this thing is getting serious, and the lump was rather becoming big in the left breast. So we quickly had to talk to one nurse at our church, ICG's Evangel Temple, New Dawonia, and then she was like, come to Tema General. We went, we saw doctors, went through the normal process, and then they told us that before they can confirm whatever it is, unless we do a biopsy.
A biopsy, okay.
So from there, due to the long bureaucracies in some of these government agencies, we had to go to IMA, International Maritime Hospital at Comte 3.
Yeah, Tama.
We went there quickly. The next day, they just had to arrange, did the biopsy, and then they called us that the results was ready. But before they would break the results to us, unless the head of the department, the breast cancer department there is around. So they invited us one Saturday morning. We went. So before we went, we started reading about lumps in.
Yeah.
Then we realized it's related to, it could be
breast cancer
or fibroadenoma, which it's not possible to be a cancer. So that morning when we were going, my wife cried. She cried seriously. She said, babe, I don't know my fate. But whatever it is, let's go. So we went. They broke the news to us. And sometimes some of the medical doctors, how they go straight to the point, it's quite
harsh.
It's harsh. They said, well, fine. Your wife is going to lose her fertility for some time. She will lose the hair. If possible, she might not be able to give birth again. And
you already had kids?
Yes. No.
Okay. Oh, wow.
We don't.
Yeah, she was in school at the time and all that, yeah.
And then that really broke us down. That was my first time crying after marriage.
I can understand.
It wasn't at that moment. I was asking myself a lot of questions. Was it right to marry her at that time? Was it wrong, or maybe it was God's intention to bring us to this level where I would help her go through this challenge and a whole lot. So we cried for almost about 30 minutes, and then they asked us to walk out and come back because it was
too much, the emotions,
especially the fertility side hit her.
She really wanted to have kids.
Because 6 months into the marriage, we never saw any sign of pregnancy. So it was our concern. So she cried. We came back. Then they told us that was when they told us it's cancer, and the triple negative cancer, the aggressive type, and at stage 3.
Oh, whoa.
Yes. Others do survive at stage 3, even stage 4, stage 2. Others survive stage 2, others die, stage 1, others die, and all that. So we kept on reading. We started researching. She liked reading a lot. So sometimes I'll be there, and she's come tell me that, babe, I found this online. Let's go through. Then we just we just read it. And so we left the hospital. The news of the cancer broke us down for a month without taking any action. She was crying every night. She was then at home before she went to have a service. So every night she was crying. I had to keep on. Because we're the only people living.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? You come home and your wife is crying. Yeah. What would a husband do?
Sometimes I'll be at work. By then I'm into engineering, building and construction. I'll be at work at Dansoman, and we stay at Community 25. She'll call me. She'll not say a word.
She's just crying.
She'll just cry.
So you have to leave the workplace.
Whatever I'm doing, hand over to
a foreman or something, and then
rush back to the house. If I get there, either she's locked the door, she's inside crying, or she has not eaten since morning, and she'll just be crying. So we then broke the news to our family, and they said, let's try herbal. Sometimes, personally, I didn't believe in herbs.
Okay.
But due to family
pressures here and there,
we had to resort to the herbs. And I quite remember the herbs were paying 1,500 every 3 days, excluding transportation from Modern.
Herbs?
Yes, herbs. Look, the ones you drink, once you apply on the breast with some shea butter and mixed with some concoctions, and 2 gallons. So she has to finish 5-liter gallon, the white one. She has to finish it within 2 to 3 days. Then we order a different one from Modern.
Somebody was making money.
Yes. So this thing kept on for 3 weeks. I was like, the pain was becoming severe, and she was always complaining. So we're like, babe,
you have to stop this.
Let's stop this.
Yeah.
My family was like, no, keep on trying. We've heard stories about herbs. We said, fine. That is stories. But for me and my wife, we are not going to do that again. Then we went back to IMA again. They were like, okay, fine. So we have to do a surgery. Either they cut the whole left breast. I'm the type that I really like the left breast a lot. So when I hear people say that when you fumble with ladies' breasts, it reduces.
Yeah, I've heard that one. I asked the doctor this sometime last week, and she said it doesn't do anything.
Yes, it reduces breast cancer and all that. And then that I would always stand everywhere and debunk it, because
you did it.
I was always striking from the left breast,
and still the cancer.
That is where the cancer affected. So we went back, and then they said, "You guys are just joking. You are playing with your life of your wife." And we're like, "Why?" I said, "This is a triple negative cancer that we are talking about, and it's aggressive." So we started reading more about it. Then we realized that no, this thing is really serious.
Oh wow!
Yes, we didn't know. That is why I've passionately taken this awareness and education personally, just for people to know that whatever we are saying or whatever you hear other people talk about, other practitioners, health practitioners talk about, it is not something they've just cooked to put online.
You must take this early detection thing seriously, and you must take whatever they tell you seriously.
Yes, it is. Because our church used to organize breast cancer screening and all that, and she will go and she will leave. Be like, babe, I have to cook for you, so let me come home and do. And
she didn't see that serious.
Yes. And it kept on like that.
Wow.
So we went, they did the surgery, but lucky enough, the biopsy they did was that the breast will not be cut, but just the lump.
Okay, they will take it out.
Yes, they will just take it out. So 25th of April last year, 2023, that's when we did a surgery, when the lump was taken out and all that. So she stayed at the hospital. Even on our first year of wedding anniversary, she was at the hospital. Then she was like, she would eat her favorites, fries and wings. So I went to 25 Junction, went to buy it. When I was returning to the hospital, an ambulance from Flower side just came to hit the driver's side.
Of your car?
Of my car.
Wow.
Just after hitting, he turned and he was running away. So I also turned. No, there was a policeman around. So he saw the scene. He came and we had to end up in the
police station.
I was like, no. I told the CID, no, I don't want to pursue this thing again. I'm not interested. Besides, my wife is
Your wife is in the hospital. You are sending this thing to.
So I just had to let go of everything. I even had to give the ambulance driver money to top up to sort because he was drunk.
Oh my goodness.
Went back to the hospital and were discharged the following day on the 1st of April. We went home. That the surgery also had another tone on us because the size of the breasts got changed and were then referred to the oncology department at Kolebu. But our major concern of how the chemotherapy and the radiotherapy was the fact that she was going to she was going to be infertile for some time.
Okay.
So we're keen on having babies. So the doctor was like, okay, fine. When you go to Kolebu, tell them what you really want and then they will do it for you. So we told them and then they referred us to one fertility center at Taifa.
Okay.
We went there, we did a process. We had to do IVF and we paid $7,800 and the results was negative. I couldn't break the news to my wife from November last year till February this year that I broke the news of the results of the IVF, because she was always asking me, babe, how is it going? How was it? Did they get any eggs or whatever? So ours was such that they were going to keep the eggs, my sperms mixed with her eggs, and then they'll keep for some period of time. When she's done with the chemo and she's fine and everything, then
they do the insemination.
The transplant and all that. So that very morning, they went to the theater. We saw 6 eggs, but when they got to the theater, before they went, I was asking questions. How long is it going to take? The doctor told me, it's going to take like 30 minutes. But 1 hour, 30 minutes, they were still there. So I started becoming nervous. Then they came to call me that the doctor is calling you. I went, saw the screen, they checked, and they told me they didn't find anything.
Wow.
At that point, I didn't know whether to cry, to laugh. I wasn't thinking about the money. I was thinking about how the cancer cells are traveling, because we were told that the cells doesn't have mercy whether you want to have a child or not. So that aside, we also went to, that also kept us for almost about 2 weeks without going back to Kolebu, because she was always crying. The pains that she went through for the IVF process. And for the IVF, the drugs that she took and the injection was 21 days injection. And every 3 days, we had to drive from 25 to Taifa for an injection. And then we'll drive back for 21 days. So every 3 days. That means we used that route for 7 times.
It's just gone the 8:30, and we're having a very touching discussion. Today we're looking at, because it's still Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're looking at it from someone who's gone through it, someone who is lived with someone who is had breast cancer. And so we're looking at it from the caregiver's perspective. And it's quite touching. But we still must have this conversation. His name is Emmanuel Ehun-Addo, and he is the founder of the Naomi Mikafui Breast Cancer Foundation, the Naomi Mikafui Foundation, as it were. I'm looking at the website, and these kinds of discussions, it brings the theory of breast cancer to the practical aspects of it. This 21 days, every 3 days, you going for an injection. Physically, how was she handling this?
She was always crying. And her words was, "I'm wasting your money."
Oh,
we got married, and this is what I've brought
into your life. The misery, the pain, the money you are spending.
I always keep telling her that, babe, I'm doing it because of the love,
of course,
I have for you. Forget about the money. We had people supporting us, so just so sometimes she'll be like, "I won't go." I'll be like, "Why?"
And she wants to give up.
Yes. I'll be like, "Babe, no. We have to."
What adjustments did you make in your own personal and professional life to accommodate these caregiving responsibilities? Because so these 21 days that you're driving her, how are you balancing this with engineering issues, construction issues?
So the projects I was handling then, I had team
workers that were.
So the day that we had to go to the facility, I was just one guy that I always communicate with, Amakwata Domina. He knew what we were going through, so yeah, I'll just hit him up. "Hey, my brother,
today, okay."
Yeah, so he was taking care of the site and most of the works, unless when I'm keenly needed for monthly site meetings that I would have to.
That one you have to go.
Be rush there. So after the IVF process, we went back to Kolebu after 3 days. We went back to Kolebu to tell them that we are done with the IVF, so they had to start the chemo.
Okay.
And the chemo sessions depends on the type of cancer that you have. Ours was such that she has to take the shot for three sessions. 8.
Okay.
8 sessions. And it has to be every other 3 weeks. So you go today, the following 3 weeks, you have to go for another section till the last chemo. And we did that for 7. We did that 7 times. Then we did some other radiotherapy, also 16 at the spine, because 5th of March, the situation got worse. It got deteriorating. And the
5th of March this year?
5th of March this year. She got numbed. Both legs, she couldn't move them. And I had to do everything. I had to bath, take care of her, do everything for her until her family made one of the senior sisters also come around to assist, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Sometimes I'll go to the washroom and I'll just be crying. I'll just be crying and be asking God a lot of questions and hoping that she gets better along the line. So she got numbed. She couldn't walk. At a point, we thought it was stroke. So we started treating stroke. We started having massage. We started having physio and all that. My church came in to assist with funds, prayers, and all that. So we did a physio for some 3 weeks, and still it was getting worse. At a point, she couldn't bend the neck. She couldn't just do anything. Always in bed. She got bedridden. And I had to go to work.
Yeah, you have to.
But at times, I'll just wake up around 9 and I'll be like, I can't leave my wife. They should handle the work aspect. Even though we had family members around taking care of her, the moment I leave the house, she'll be like, please call His Majesty for me. That's how she used to call me. And I call her Her Royal Highness. Call His Majesty for me. Wherever I've gotten to, I need to turn back. I turn to my wife.
Where did you get the strength to survive this?
I would say seeing my wife smile gives me hope. It was giving me hope that
things will be better.
Things will be better. But along the line, things was just getting worse.
The chemo treatment, did it have any physical effects that you could see that this is destroying this body? I mean,
a lot. We were told, and we also researched. She lost the hair, but eventually it came back. And losing the hair brought a stigma to me, especially that someone was saying that you are gay now because your wife is.
Oh, people were making jokes?
Yes. We had a lot of stigmas, but it wasn't funny. I mean, a whole lot of stigma that I wouldn't like to say it here. So, she also sometimes she will lose
sight.
It will be blur for some time, then it comes back. She will be weak. So for the 3 weeks that we'll have to go for the chemo sessions, 2 weeks she'll be weak for taking the drugs. She can't do anything. Sometimes she can't even eat for a week. That is how serious breast cancer is. So if I hear and see people not take it serious, it bothers me.
Yeah, because you've lived it, and so you know what you're talking about.
I now have people working on site. I had to be on site, but because of the passion I have for this, I had to.
Yeah, that's why I said from the beginning that we are honored to have you here.
I have to let them handle whatever they have to do, because I just want people to hear my story, the pain I've gone through, to strengthen and give hope to somebody that is listening to me. So along the line, just to cut everything short, on 25th of May this year, right in our bedroom, on our bed, I was administering her usual chemo drugs. So 2 weeks to that, she couldn't talk. She couldn't do anything. She couldn't eat, not solid, not liquid. Not anything, drink. She was just doing signs. If you are giving her the food, she just be using the hand.
That I don't want it.
She's
pushing it away.
For 2 weeks.
Was there any point in this period where you felt you were losing her?
I still had hopes. And she still had hopes. Before the 2 weeks that she couldn't talk, she was like, babe, I'll come back. I'll be there for us. I'll be strong, so that we'll do what we have to do. And then I want to make you happy. And my pastor and the wife and the entire leaders, I so much appreciate them, because anytime they come, they give us hope. Reverend Eric Ampofo.
That it will be well.
Yes, that it will be well. With prayers and all that. At a point, one doctor in our church, from the results, the final results we did at the Bank Hospital, was like the met had spread to her lungs, her spine. That's why she couldn't bend the neck, always stiff. That's why she got numbed and all that. So it was going to be difficult for her to survive. And they gave us like within a month. I knew it, but I still had hopes. And she also still had hopes. And all family members had hopes. So 25th of this year, as I said earlier, administering the drugs to her, and then I made her sit down because it wasn't going. Then I realized she bent down the neck. And then her sister that was with us then saw goosebumps all over her, and she was like, this is unusual. Then I realized she was gone.
I mean,
this is 11:25 p.m. that we are talking about. 25th of May.
She died right in front of you.
Yes. So I had to put her down on the bed, and then told her sister that she can go to her room. I want to be with my wife.
The sister didn't realize her sister had passed away.
She asked me.
And you told her no?
I told her no.
So now you're alone with her in the room. What are you doing?
I was praying with her.
But you were aware she was gone?
Yes. I didn't want to believe what I was saying. I was praying to God that whatever I'm feeling that she was gone shouldn't be true.
For how many minutes, hours did you stay with her alone?
From 11:25 p.m. till the morning. Yes.
Wow.
At that point, I stepped out and I walked from the house to our roadside around 1 a.m. I was just walking barefooted, wearing just a shorts. At that point, my wife was like, babe, are you going to leave me because I'm sick? I said, no, I can't.
For better, for worse.
Yes. I can't just leave you because
sickness and in health. That was the vow she made.
Yes. She was scared that I was going to send her to her family. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. No. So at dawn around 3 a.m., I called the family. I told them that I'm not feeling well. I didn't tell them what was happening or what had happened. I'm not feeling well, so they should come over.
Her family?
Yes, her family. And lucky enough, I don't know what that point, how they all managed to meet. When I called them, there were like 6 or 7 people who had gathered and they were praying. So they just had to stop praying. That 3 a.m., move from La Paz to
25.
25. When they came, they saw me outside. They was like, is everything okay? I said, fine. Yes, everything is fine. They went inside to our bedroom, and the senior brother came back, was like, Nwas, she's cold. I said, yes. How were you able to be with her? I said, well, fine, it's my wife.
That's what I'm also asking myself.
So I quickly called the church doctor, Dr. Genti. I so much appreciate him for all he did. He came. That was Sunday morning, around 6. Then he came to confirm. I just needed a confirmation. That was why I couldn't.
Because your mind was never going to be free. If you sent her without any medical, you would forever think,
yes,
maybe she was just sleeping. Yes. Maybe she had just gone into a coma. Did I kill her or something? Yeah. Wow.
So Sunday morning, 26th May this year, then the family and the church doctor took her to the morgue. My mom had to come. My family had to come in.
The producer did well and gave me a list of questions, but I've thrown all away because, I mean, this is not the kind of interview where I'll look at even a question. What does caregiving to a triple what?
Triple negative.
A triple negative. What did it do to you as a person?
Psychologically, financially, I was affected. Emotionally, I was affected. I remember buying a car for her on Valentine's Day last year. I had to sell the car. And she didn't want me to sell it.
Because she knew she was going to come back and drive the car.
Yes. I sold it. And other properties I had. But thanks to my church, my family, my friends, and then her family for stepping in. Because at the point, I had nothing. even what to eat in the house was a challenge.
Yeah, because you're not going to work.
Yeah. So my church organized, in fact, it was massive. My church, my family, her family, friends coming in every other day to support. At a point, I thought I was going nuts. I was just losing my mind. So the church had to arrange for a clinical psychologist to have a session with me every Friday. We finished the sessions in last month. It wasn't easy.
Wow.
It wasn't easy.
It's just gone a quarter to the hour of 9. And that means that we've just about a quarter of an hour to go. But a conversation, we cannot just run away from it. His name is Emmanuel Ehunado. On the website, they call him Noel's Ehunado. He's the founder of the Naomi Mikafui BCF, Breast Cancer Foundation. So you can go to the website, naomimikafuibcf.com. And we're having a conversation about caregiving to someone who has gone through breast cancer, unfortunately, did not make it. He actually came with someone, but for some reason, I've totally forgotten about Ellen Diamond Dejo, right? And she's a women's commissioner of AUCC. Okay. Ellen.
Hello, sir.
Welcome to my my humble abode. Okay, what brings you into my studio? We're talking Naomi Mikafui. I got carried away. Tell me about why you're in my studios.
Well, we're all about inviting people to the African University College of Communications, AUCC, on the 26th of October, which is this month.
Okay. What's happening there?
We're having a health fair, particularly breast cancer screening and a blood donation drive. So the month of October is recognized globally as the month set aside to raise awareness on breast cancer. But AUCC, in collaboration with the Naomi Mikafui Breast Cancer Foundation, have sat down and then we're like, no, this month we're not only going to do breast cancer, we're also going to add a blood donation drive to raise awareness on breast cancer, to get people to come for the screening, to lecture people, to disband the myths, and then get people to know what actually is happening on ground. This morning, Noels is sharing his story to you, but there are lots of people out there who have also lived through it and are surviving a day at a time. So we do not only want you to come for the screening, but we want you to listen to the stories of these individuals who have been through it, be inspired, and then also learn from it.
How did you get into this partnership with the Naomi Mikafui Foundation and Noels himself? Why you went online or what? Or you know them? How did this collaboration come about?
Well, I call it grace because how everything played out was just the work of God, the touch of God, I would say.
Well, how did everything play out?
So at AUCC, we are not only committed to raising leaders for society, but we are raising passionate leaders who actually care about the society as well, care about people. So the Student Representative Council, the SRC, we're looking at the activities for the year. Mm-hmm. And then we decided that, okay, the month of breast cancer is one that we cannot just see pass by. So, okay, we have to do something to raise awareness on breast cancer because we understand the sensitivity of the topic, and also we do not want people to still go around with unclear ideas in their minds and then fear as to what may happen. There are lots of people who actually even want to go for screening exercises, but the fear of the unknown pushes them away. So we wanted to put these people together and then do the awareness the right way, bring professionals to educate them, and also give hope to those who will actually find themselves wanting in that aspect. And then our communications officer, Shout outs to him wherever he is. His name is Mr. Richard Fafali Ayete. Happens to be a church member of Mr. Ehunado.
Oh, okay.
So previously we were scouting for an organization that was as passionate about breast cancer as we were, and he mentioned that Mr. Ehunado has founded an organization, and so that's just how everything.
That's where the
out.
relationship came from.
Yes.
Okay, that's quite interesting. I mean, so when
26th October.
We're all coming to Adabraka.
Please do. Bring your whole family.
Yeah, it's a weekend?
It is.
Saturday.
Wow. It's a Saturday. To allow for workers to also pass through.
Mr. Ehunado, back to you. How has been given some a caregiver, how has being a caregiver during a breast cancer treatment changed your perspective on life and health?
There is 3 things I always say. Cancer cannot cripple love.
Cancer cannot cripple love.
And cancer cannot conquer hope.
Cancer cannot conquer hope.
And then cancer cannot kill passion.
Cancer cannot kill passion.
These 3 things just kept me on. And having passed through that, I've realized that I couldn't leave my wife to the family that I had to take care of her and make sure she gets well, but it didn't happen. That doesn't mean I should just keep quiet. There are a lot of people out there who had survived. Others too have experience like myself, but they are keeping quiet over it.
You think they should share their story?
Yes, they should. They should. To encourage someone, to give hope to someone, even to hope to those passing through breast cancer treatment. Because along the line, during the treatment, we happened to meet one Mrs. Jocelyn Yaukuma, who is a 5-year-old breast cancer survivor. And she was encouraging us and taking us, psyching our minds, psyching my wife's mind throughout. So if she hadn't shared her story, we wouldn't have gotten to know or to meet her. And then this particular conference, she's even the one that is coming to facilitate.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the conference for us. And then we have our very own Miss Lois.
Oh, Mamle Sakite,
yes.
our okay.
Yes, as a conference host.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Great.
So as part of the fair, we are having a conference, just as Wukom mentioned. We are bringing together 8 strong men in health field. We have 2 doctors, Dr. Genti, Dean of Health Sciences at Central University. We have Dr. Baini, who works at Stama General. And then we have Mamie Kia Austin, who works at Adom FM. We also have Dora, who is a student at AUCC. We have Mrs. Sharon Kum, who is a midwife. And then we have other 2.
Interesting. I will be there too. Someone just sent me that message. Is Mr. Ezekedu, our boss here? I think he's the head of news. He said he will be there.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting. It means that Z will be represented. If Mamle Sakite is there, Mr. Ezekedu is there, that's the newsroom. So I'm sure after the 26th, we'll get all the stories and put it out there.
Thank you,
to do our very best to help push this agenda. Mr. Emmanuel Ehunado, I don't know what else to say, but to say you are an inspiration.
Indeed.
And your story must be told all over this country and beyond, just so that people, like you said, people know what it feels like. And you see, when you started your story, I thought this was a 10 years ago story. I thought this was like 5 years ago. But we're talking of this year.
Yeah, this year.
Exactly. Few months.
Yeah, as 4 months.
Wow.
And I've not had a rest since. About being passionate, stuff like this. We've been to Heritage University. Even as I'm talking to you from here, I have 2 other sessions. Apostle Safo School of Science and Arts at Awish.
Okay.
We'll be there. Then we have another session at Kokomeme AIT.
Okay.
TV today. And then on Saturday, we are having another one in my church with the men, MMV, the men, and then my foundation. That's where we are going to officially outdoor the foundation. And then next week, Friday, we have another session at AMA Gardens before our major events with AUCC.
What's happening with NEM engineering then?
We are still working. As
Wow.
I'm talking to you, as I said earlier on, we still have people on site. They are working.
But they understand that the boss has to run around.
And they are watching me.
Oh, okay.
They are watching and listening.
They are listening, eh?
Yes.
Okay, so staff of NEM Engineering, wherever you are, we salute you for supporting Mr. Noel's Ehunado for all the good job he's doing. Okay, so you're still in black.
Yes.
When are you going to take off the black?
I want to do the end of the year. So I have two more months to go.
Thank you very much for coming to ZFM this morning, together with Ellen Diamond as well. We appreciate you. We appreciate our producer as well for bringing you, Madame Diana Lois, Mamili Sakite, for doing a great job bringing you here. Your story has touched a lot. Someone just sent me. It is a touching story, I bet you. Yeah, so many more. 0544-321019, 0544-321019. I want to share a message. As always, you can do that. You can also do so by going to our social media handles and then checking us out on all the platforms. It's actually at ZFMGH on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X. And then on TikTok and YouTube is at Z Multimedia. The website is zmultimedia.com. You can always check us out there. Any final words before? Let's start with Ellen Diamond. That's a hyphenated name, right?
Yes.
Ellen Diamond. Okay. And then after that, we'll get Noels to give us the last word.
Okay, so I'd want to entreat your audience. If you're watching, if you're listening, breast cancer has been taken for granted for far too long in this country. And I think it's time that we get up as people and set the record straight. On the 26th of October 2024, do not stay home. And pardon your kids for going to classes on that day. Let them come to AUCC. Let's get ourselves screened. Let's get ourselves educated, because breast cancer is not a fight for just the sick people. We all need to get up and fight against breast cancer. So please, let us see you there. Thank you very much.
She's a Women's Commissioner of AUCC. Her name is hyphenated. It's Ellen Diamond, right? Ellen Diamond, and thank you so much, Ellen Diamond, Dejo, for coming through. And then final words from Mr. Noel's Ehunado.
Okay, my final words goes to the husbands, the boyfriends who's happen to have their couples or someone sick. Don't leave them alone. Be there with them. Be there for them. So the Lord know what has to happen. And I so much appreciate the opportunity given us to be here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With ZFM, Lifestyle, Leisure, and Business. That's our own. It's 9 a.m. Thank you very much. We're into the final hour of the show. When we come back, we'll do customer service, and then we'll go into the science and tech discussion.